Hello, and welcome to the podcast for PropTech Buzz. We're so excited today. We have an amazing guest, and I am Michelle Suarez, the host. I'm head of product innovation for PropTech Buzz. PropTech Buzz is a virtual ecosystem for PropTech founders, CEOs, CXOs, investors, and professionals from around the world. We are 5,000 plus members and have over 1,000 PropTech products launched. Do check out and sign up on the platform. And in a week from now, very exciting, we're actually going to have our own app in the app stores. So take a look for that. And today we have an amazing guest, Anil Kaul, who is the CEO of Astra Nest AI. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. We're thrilled to have him today. And AstraNet AI is revolutionizing the residential real estate market in the US with its cutting edge AI platform, designed to transform the consumer experience by offering proactive, data driven guidance to buyers and sellers. This platform not only empowers consumers, but also boosts agent productivity by an impressive 4 to 5 times. Anil brings a wealth of expertise in AI and data to the table. With a background in working with Fortune 500 companies on consumer and B2B marketing, he's no stranger to driving impactful change. Prior to founding AstraNest AI, Anil co-founded and led a predominant AI and machine learning services firm, Absolute Data, which he successfully sold to Silicon Valley-based Infogain Corporation in 2020. His extensive experience also includes working at a McKinsey and a PhD in marketing from Cornell University. Anil has been a thought leader, publishing articles in leading academic and industry journals and sharing his insights as an invited speaker at prestigious universities such as Cornell, Yale, and Dartmouth. As he looks forward to shaping the future of the US residential real estate industry in the wake of the NAR settlement, we're excited to hear his perspectives and innovations. Anil, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Thank you, Michelle. I'm doing well and very excited to be on the podcast. Appreciate the great introduction, and let's go ahead.
Yes. So, can you please tell us about your journey as the founder for AstraNest AI and what inspired you to create the AI first platform for the real estate industry?
Yeah, what I am doing at Astranest, along with my co-founders, is actually in continuation of a journey or a career that I started more than 20, 25 years back, which was bringing data into decision making. At my previous company, Absolute Data, that is what we did with our Fortune 500 clients. And the focus was, how do you make better decisions using the data that is available? And of course, do it in a manner that is easy for the user and is also optimized using analytics, using machine learning and AI. And given that background and that experience that I had with working with a number of Fortune 500 companies over the years, I looked at the real estate industry and realized that the industry has changed a lot in the last 10 years. This used to be an industry where there wasn't a lot of data available, but in the last 10 years particularly, there has been a tremendous amount of data that has now become available. However, as a real estate agent or as a consumer, you don't know how to use that data properly because there is just so much information, which means even if you have the skills and the tools, you will have to spend a lot of time and energy and figure out how to do these things. So what we thought is an opportunity is to create a set of tools and a platform that enables the buyers and the sellers to use that data to make the right decision for themselves. And by the way, what it also does is it also makes the job of the agent a lot more easier. it takes a lot of effort, time, and effort that they typically put in guiding and helping their customer by empowering the customer and letting them actually have that access to those tools and do it themselves. So
Wow, that's
that is essentially what we are doing at Astroneft. So yeah.
yeah, that sounds amazing. So, what sort of data was not being utilized prior, and what are you doing differently?
Yeah, so I think two things. One is, when let's take an example of buying a home, and I'll pick up one particular part of that, which is that you search through all the different homes that are available there. You've been to a few open houses, and now you are going to be putting an offer in for a particular home. If you think of it, that is a very important decision because the number that you put in the offer, along with the other conditionalities that come along with that, is going to determine first whether you're going to get that home or not. Second, it's also going to have a big impact, by the way, for the next 15 to 30 years of your life. Because if you overpay and win the home, the extra amount of money that you're paying in affects literally every month of the life of the loan, right? Because
Yeah.
if I pay $10,000 more over the lifetime of the loan, and if it's like a 30-year loan, I would end up paying about $25,000. And by the way, that also means that every month my monthly payment is higher. So I'm actually, the decision that I'm making at that point of time, of course, determines whether I get the house or not. But it also has an impact for the rest of every month that I live in that particular home. So what we have done in that particular tool, so there's a tool that we built there, for example. What it does is it brings a lot of different types of data together. I'll share with you some of the examples. You need to know first, um, at what price have similar homes sold, right? Second, uh, what is the current market condition? Because the last home might have been sold a month back, and things, in the market change pretty drastically. The third is, you want to know what are condition of the home, right? Is the home in a particular condition? So you have a lot of data and information available about that. You want to know what is the likelihood, if I don't win this particular home, is there another home that's going to be in the market? You want to know what is the likely appreciation that will happen in the home. Will it build wealth for me or not? So there are a lot of all of these things that you have to bring in. And by the way, there is all data behind each of these things which you have to bring together to make that one final decision of what is the price, what's the offer price that I'm going to put in there. Now, traditionally, the approach has been that you do a little bit of analysis, but because you get inundated with this data, most of this data and information actually doesn't get used. And what we're doing is helping our customers, both the agents and the consumers, the buyers, take all this data, make sense out of it through AI, and then guide you to the price that you feel comfortable, the price that balances your ability to win the offer, so that the offer gets accepted, but at the same time not overpay for the home, right? So that's the delicate balance that you need to reach, and that is where AI becomes very powerful in helping you to do that in an easy to use manner without getting overwhelmed with data information, without getting overwhelmed with tools that can help you do all of these things. It's simple, easy way to do it.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And where is the data being pulled from?
Uh, so data typically comes from MLS, for example, provides a lot of data. There is also data that comes from a number of data providers. And by the way, there are tremendous number of data providers in the real estate world today. Some of that data is proprietary, but a lot of it also is publicly available data, but it gets aggregated. So, for example, you have information available about what are the different types of homes available in a particular neighborhood. You have information available about what are the amenities in the neighborhood. You have information available about what is the likely appreciation of a particular type of home in a particular geographic area. So there is all of this data which is now available that you can pull in. Similarly, by the way, there's a lot of data available that actually looks at the pictures of the home that have been posted and translates that into the condition of the home. So, data today is not a problem, fortunately. And I'm very actually happy to see that. It is I think the bigger problem is how to use the data and how to use that data in a way that helps you make the right decision.
Okay. So would you say buyers would benefit the most from this tool, or would it be the real estate agents, or both?
Both, right? See, we don't look at buyers and real estate agents as separately because both of them have the same goal, which is to get the buyer to buy the right home. So the idea is that you help the buyer with a good user experience and empower them to make the right decision for them. And that also helps the agent because with automated tools, they have to do less work and they're able to do their work significantly better. So it's a win-win situation where we want the agent to win, but we also want the buyer to win at the same time. And that's the beauty of it, which is we don't have to worry about one winning and other losing. Both of them will be much.
Yeah. So basically, it's impacting all points of the real estate industry on both sides.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. And would it be okay if I share the website right now and walk
Yeah,
through
so
that?
our website right now is kind of pre-launch in the sense that we are waiting for the big change that has happened because of the lawsuit. August 17th is when the whole change comes into play. So that is when we go live. So yes, you're more than welcome to share our website, but right now the website doesn't outlay all the details because we want to hold off for the change to happen in the market, which is happening very soon.
Okay, great. Let me see. Right. So as of right now, oh, okay. As of right now, the Astronest AI platform is just to join the wait list.
Correct. Yes.
And then the launch is happening when?
So the launch is happening August 17th, uh, later
Okay,
this month.
great. We're just like 2 weeks away.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And so, if people are interested in using your technology, they would come to this website and sign up, and then they would get access to a platform, or how does it work?
Yes. So they would join the waitlist right now, and the waitlist will open up as soon as we are in the market. And the way the platform works is that we, work like a traditional broker in some sense, which is you sign up with us as the real estate. I don't want to call it an agent because we are calling ourselves advisors because that's what we actually do, advise you on your real estate transaction. And once you join us, you get access to the tools and you also get access to expert real estate agents who will help you through the process. So it's a combination of providing the platform and the human help that you need. Because real estate is, one of those industries where every home is different from every other home that's out there. So every transaction tends to have, I would say, about 90-95%, which is relatively standard, but then there are always these little kinks that come in. So we've ensured that we have expert real estate professionals available that will help you with those unusual things that come during the process. But while you're doing the usual things, there is technology available to take care of that.
Okay, perfect. It sounds amazing. And why now? Why is it a good time to launch this technology, you think?
Yeah, so why now is actually a good question. I think the biggest reason, of course, is the big change that's happening in the industry, right? So with the buyer's commission not being paid by the seller anymore, that means that as an advisor who's advising a buyer, you need to provide significant more value to the customer. So that kind of opens up an opportunity for us. I think the second reason I would say is also coming from a data and technology perspective, right? So AI as a technology has come into the play now and has now got to a stage where you can actually create the kind of tools that we're creating. The data is now available to make all of that happen. So it's actually a combination of what I call the big change that's happening in the industry and the AI wave which of course is impacting every other industry. So these two things come together and allow us to create the platform for our consumers.
Yes, very exciting. And I know a lot of people are going to benefit from this. So, in developing this, what significant challenges did you face? And how did you overcome that to achieve success?
Yeah, so I would talk a little bit more here from a technology perspective first. I think there were there were and there will continue to be quite significant challenges that we'll have to solve to make sure that AI works the way it's intended to. You know, uh, AI basically have two components to it, the way I look at it, right? So there is the large language models like OpenAI, which is what got AI into the mainstream. So when you're using tools like that, you have to be very careful in terms of making sure that the recommendations provided by large language models aren't inaccurate, which is something that can happen. So, and then second part of the AI is more like what we call predictive AI, which has been around for a while. So we've been working on that since my first time was 2014. So that is a lot more mature and gives you a lot more accuracy. So we've had, so as we build this platform, we've actually brought in a lot of innovation in there. So, for example, the interface is like a human conversation. Second part of it is also that I'll give you an example of an innovation that we've done. When you want to understand the preferences of a consumer, of a buyer, there is actually a lot of information that I want to get. Now, to get that information, I can continue asking you question after question, and that gets very boring and tedious from a consumer's perspective. So what we have done is we've actually created an AI algorithm that figures out what is the best question to ask to get the maximum information that I need so that I can minimize the number of questions, but I can get the maximum information. Right? That's an optimization problem that we have solved. That's one example of it. So every consumer or every buyer on our platform gets a completely unique experience based on the answers they are providing. So your question that the question that you will get next could be very different from another person because they answered in a different way than you did.
Oh,
So
it's
those
very
are kind of
customized.
yeah. So those are the kind of innovations that we have to build, and we'll by the way continue to do that because the idea is that we want to create the platform that serves the buyer in the best possible way. And if that requires innovation, our team has a track record of having done these kind of innovations before. So we want to bring those innovations into the platform that we are building so that as a real estate company, we are one of the leading companies even from an AI perspective.
Amazing, yes. And looking into that, what are your plans for Astronest? As we go into the next 5 to 10 years, how is the real estate industry going to change? And how do you envision Astronest kind of evolving?
Yeah, I've been, of course, part of real estate industry for years as a customer. Right, I bought some homes, I sold some homes. But in the last year and a half is when I actually spent a lot of time trying to understand the industry, trying to see what is really going on, and I realized that this was one industry where the consumer, the buyer and the seller, actually did not have as much as a focus as I have seen in other industries. But the nice thing is being that with the changes that are coming, everyone in the industry realizes that the buyer and the seller, the consumer, has to be at the center of the transaction. Instead of focusing and saying that we want to build the tools for the agent to be effective, our focus, and I think this is what the industry focus will be, is to build tools and solutions to make to have to that focus on the buyer and the seller. And by making them successful, we as agents, as anybody else in the real estate industry, will be successful as well. By the way, that is a formula that's been implemented in so many different industries. If you
Yeah.
look at Amazon, how did they succeed? They made a very consumer friendly platform that tells you what else you could buy, that actually makes it easy for you to buy stuff, that delivers the product at the right place in the right time. And I think those are the next set of changes that are going to happen in this industry. And I'm very excited about that because I think that will make this industry a lot better. That will make this industry a lot more agile, profitable, all of the different things that any industry would want. And to me, that's exciting. That's fun. I want to be part of that. At Astronest, we want to shape that direction and hopefully make everyone a winner as we go through this.
Amazing. Yes. It's very exciting. And I also see the trend towards, companies going client centric, focusing specifically on clients' needs, desires, and, being all about them. And I love that Astronest is exactly that, customized and giving, insights you can't find anywhere else. I think this is going to be really powerful.
Thank you very much.
So with AI playing a crucial role in your platform, what measures has Astronest taken to address ethical and regulatory concerns to ensure transparency, fairness, and compliance in its operations? That's a big question.
No, and by the way, that's a very important question as well, right? Particularly, real estate, housing is a very important field. There are regulations that impact how you present information, what information you can present, what you can't, and there are big impacts that you create, or a big impact that you create if there is bias in your data, if there is bias in your recommendations, and so on. So we are going in with our eyes wide open, knowing that these are the topics and issues that we need to be very careful about. And the way we are ensuring that happens is by structuring our AI right from day one to take care of factors like this. And I'll give you a little insight into what I mean by that. So the AI tools that we are building have uh, two modules that we have created. There is a module up front that actually looks at the question that the user is asking and ensures that that question is within the bounds of what our platform should be handling. So if you ask a question that is out of the bounds, it will very politely tell you that I can't help you with that. The second thing is that when the output from the AI is created, we have created a second AI, right? Think of it as a guard on the gate that actually checks the answer against all the parameters that have been put in about bias, about legal ethics, all of those things to make sure that the answer that goes out to the consumer or the user has been checked by a separate AI, not the one that produced it.
Oh,
So that ways we ensure that uh, the output that you get is going to be certainly much more robust. Now, it doesn't mean that you will never get something that's not right. I'm sure there will be certain incidences that will happen like that where the answer isn't right. But we're putting these checks to then catch those situations and help us improve. But what I like about our approach is that even if our AI, the first AI was 80% accurate, and our second AI was 80% accurate. Thanks to the statistical probability rules, the output will at least be 96% accurate, right? So you suddenly have two AIs, which even at the worst case, you assume they are just 80% accurate, you still get answers that are 96% accurate. And that's the kind of innovation that we're putting in here because these are very important issues and we and every company in this industry needs to make sure that they pay attention to these topics.
okay. So there are guardrails and monitoring as to what, kind of data and subject matter is there. That's really good. Okay,
And I
awesome.
think part of what really helps here is having had experience working with larger organizations, enterprises for whom reputation risks are really high if anything goes wrong, right? So if you're a big company and something goes wrong, that has big impact on your reputation. It has impact on your stock price. So there's super big implications there. So we learned a lot from building these solutions for our large clients, and we're bringing the same thinking into the real estate space to say that yes, we need to think exactly like that and bring solutions that are very robust.
Yes, that's amazing. Well, I really appreciate you having, I'm sorry, let me start over. I really appreciate you coming to our podcast and having you. And we've learned so much about your product and we love it. And we can't wait, to promote it and share this podcast with everyone and get the word out. August 17th is the launch, and we're definitely going to let everybody know because I believe a lot of people are going to benefit from this tool and it's really going to change the real estate industry. So we're so happy to have you and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Michelle. I really enjoyed speaking with you. And again, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, do you have any last things you want to add before we sign off?
No, I'm, by the way, very impressed with your prop tech platform. And I think this is a great initiative that your team has taken. And I look forward to engaging more with your platform as well.
Great, awesome, thank you.